Well, let's go back to November. Was that great or what? We knew the deal. And Philip Sylvester ran like a wild man, didn't he? Look here, I heard not one whipper from a Wildcat since. In fact, Matt Johnson, the quarterback, got hurt in the game, and Mark Orlando, y'all remember Mark, he was here, he was our offense coordinator. Mark left and went to Prairie View. So could it be back to old Bethune this year? Hey, everybody is excited about the year coming because 2011 has all of us being our year. And we're excited about it. Just looking at what happened here today, and we'll go through some of the names and signees, but man, it's going to be a big year, Mike.
Well, there's no question about it. If you look at the team that we have returning, of course, Austin Traynor was just a redshirt freshman, so we'll look forward to having him for several years to come. Most of our defense is going to be returning. I think we only had 3 seniors defensively, so with 8 starters on defense and 8 on offense returning, we should look for very good things. And all of our specialists, both the returners and the kickers and punters, are all coming back. So right now, Florida A&M is just not rebuilding, we're reloading.
And I guess we don't know who we're playing in Atlanta yet. They're still working on that, but we know it won't be Tennessee State. So, but they got us this past year, but tell you what, the Rattlers rebounded and won 6 straight to close the gap and become tri-conference champions. That was a big deal. That was a big deal. To win 6 straight, shut up the Wildcats, and become conference co-champions. And so, we're excited about the year ahead. The spring should be quite adventurous. We've got some new folks coming in, got a new quarterback transferring in from Memphis, got a new running back transferring in from Rutgers. It's going to make things a little bit interesting, and it's going to be a lot of excitement around spring football. I tell you, the Fitz Club won't be the only folks out there watching to find out what's going on.
And as a matter of fact, 3 transfers are already on campus, a new running back, a new quarterback, and they're going to be out participating in spring drills, so there'll be competition at a lot of those positions. We're going to look at the 2011 schedule, those of you who have not seen it, and you want to run it down? We're going to start off with Fort Valley State. That is going to be a non-conference game. That's going to be the first home game for the Rattlers, and that is going to be on the 3rd of September. Fort Valley State, the last time they came to Tallahassee, which was in 1984, defeated the Rattlers by a score of 19-14, so we don't intend on repeating that bit of history.
Well, you know, Fort Valley is the Wildcats, so we're going to open up with the Wildcats and end up with the Wildcats, and we're going to shut the Wildcats out in 2011.
No question about it. Next comes the Hampton Pirates. Now, the last time we went up to Hampton, we lost. We got revenge on them back in Tallahassee this year, but we're looking for not tri-champions next year, but just champions. So when we go to Howard or Hampton, we've got to knock them off. They still have their quarterback, David LeGreen, a lot of their defense, so they'll be one of the tougher teams on our schedule. The next game on the schedule will be the University of South Florida. Now, I don't know if any of you know Bruce Daniels, but it's B.J. Daniels, the quarterback for South Florida, is his son. He's doing an outstanding job. They are looking to start the season off in the top 25. They won the Big East and they won their bowl game. So South Florida right now is on the roll. They also have the McCaskill brothers from Godby, if anybody knows them.
Yeah, a couple of Tallahassee connections there. Of course, BJ is Bruce's son, and the head coach for University of South Florida is Skip Holtz. And some of you might remember Skip was the assistant to the wide receivers coach over in Florida State. So they have some Tallahassee connections. That's going to be a big game too because it's Tampa. And a lot of folks are looking forward to going back to Tampa for this ball game. It's going to be a big game. It's going to be in Buccaneer Stadium. And so we want all the Rattler fans to load up and head on down to Tampa for the Rattlers and the South Florida Bulls.
Next on our schedule, of course, we go up to Atlanta to play the Bank of America Classic. We still do not have our opponent scheduled for that game. It will not be the Tennessee State Big Blue Tigers. We have heard several names, but I won't mention them at this time. Next on our schedule will be Delaware State. The Delaware State Hornets is going to be very good. They have a new head coach, Al Levan. I'm sorry, we're not giving you dates. On September 17th, we will travel to Tampa to play South Florida. On September 24th, we'll be in Atlanta. All right, Delaware State will be the next game. That is going to be October the 1st. We travel to Dover, Delaware, where they're always tough. Al Levan, their coach, was fired. And Ray Petty is their new coach. He was a long-time assistant at Howard. As a matter of fact, he was one time the head coach at Howard. Next on our schedule will be Howard University. They also will be sporting a new coach, Gary the Flea Harrell.
Gary the Flea was a great player at Howard, wide receiver, kick return specialist, and actually it was here. He was one of our assistant coaches when Reuben Carter was here. So an outstanding coach at Howard. People talk about Howard, they always say, Jay Walker always say, oh, well, Howard, we're an academic institution. Well, every institution is an academic institution. So what are you talking about? But anyway, there hasn't been a strong commitment to athletics, especially football, at Howard over the years. Now they have one, and they got a great coach. Gary Harrell's going to be a great coach for Howard. But, unfortunately, the Bison come to Tallahassee on October 8th and have to deal with the Rattlers.
Next up on October 15th, we will travel to Savannah, Georgia to face the Savannah State Tigers. They too have a new head coach. And I don't know if any of you know anything about low country boil or low country food. They have got it in Savannah, Georgia. Once you go up there, folks, everybody find the Riverwalk. Yeah, we find it every time we go. We will find great seafood, anything that you want as far as seafood is concerned.
And Savannah State have a new head football coach in Steve Davenport, former pro, coming in, and he's put together a pretty interesting staff. In fact, Alvin Wyatt's brother, Ciangelo Wyatt, is on Davenport's staff up at Savannah State. So they're really trying to turn their football fortunes around.
Of course, next is a big trip up to Orangeburg to go to South Carolina State. Now, if you're not going to make any other games all year, folks, pack up your stuff and meet us up in Orangeburg, because we'll need that one. That game, more than likely again, although we have to win the others to make this one count, is going to be for the conference championship. Now, they won't be quite the same team. They lost 3 offensive linemen, they lost their quarterback, and they lost all their linebackers. So this has got to be the year that we get them, and not that try and buy champion off and just be single champions.
Yeah, we're going to need a big crowd of Rattlers to head up to Orangeburg when we play the Bulldogs in Bulldog Stadium. Then we come home for North Carolina A&T, the Aggies here in Bragg Stadium. Alonzo Lee was the head coach, and Alonzo got fired at the end of the season, and George Ragsdale is the interim coach. We don't know if he'll be the coach during football season, but the Aggies seem to always play the Rattlers tough. Of course, this past year we had to go into overtime with A&T, and at the end of the ball, the guy who broadcast the A&T football games told me, he said, man, y'all gonna need a lot of luck against Bethune-Cookman. And I said, no, I don't think so, but thank you anyway.
We're going to treat them better than they treated our coaches. That shot you saw, the coaches with the hoods on, they were outside on top of the press box in about 15-degree weather, 5-degree wind chill. So we're going to put them inside when they come down.